We have Giant Beetrooper Invincible Atlas. So this is a new archetype that is a TCG exclusive. So in the OCG, I think they just arrived, so it kind of makes sense that they're putting them in now. So I actually wrote a shit ton of research on this archetype because I wanted to make a video on it. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 pages of just written shit for this archetype. So let me just explain what this archetype is. It's a link summoning strat that abuses some really powerful insect monsters. Have you seen this card? This card, by all means, should be broken, but it's an insect, so by virtue of its typing, it just doesn't have the most incredible access, because if it were a dragon, it'd be absolutely broken, put it to 2, fucking hell. It is it says if this card summoned from field to the graveyard, you can add a level 5 or higher insect from your deck to your hand. And if it's banished, you can foolish any insect from your deck to grave except resonance. Of course, foolishing anything from deck to graveyard that is resonance doesn't matter because it only works when sent from field. But basically, you link this off and then you search for something like Doomdozer. And what is Doomdozer? It is a extender. It cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned by from your hand by banishing 2 insects from your graveyard. Really easy to make. Cannot be special summoned any other ways. It has some battle damage bullshit. No one cares about it. It's just an extender. So that's basically what Beetroopers are. They're just a bunch of bugs. This is your boss monster, but realistically, you're gonna be summoning other things during your turn. So it's a mid-range combo deck, I'd say, and while it's really good at link summoning, it does lock you out of anything else but insects. So while this deck can theoretically pump out access codes and Appaloozas galore, not gonna be very worth it. It's not gonna really happen too often. Reason why is because a lot of the Beetrooper stuff does lock you into insects. For example, the Scout Buggy. This is a card that used to see a lot of play in Beetrooper deck profiles, but as things have progressed, people played less and less of this because of its restrictions. But it says you cannot special summon monsters except insect monsters. That's already kind of eh. And on its normal specialty, you can summon another Scout Buggy from deck. So normally this is run at 2, because even though this is a 1-card Cicada King, which is a really powerful rank 3 that's a negate, I believe, yeah, if the battle position of this card is changed, you can special summon an insect from your hand to graveyard in defense. When a monster on the field activates its effect, you can detach a material, target that monster, negate its effect, and then make 1 insect monster on the field gain 500 defense or change its battle position. Digital bug support, basically, but it's a negate, and Scout Buggy can make it really easily, but it's really garbage, right? So you drop that, and there's a lot of just generic insect support. For example, the Inzector cards, so Inzector Picofelina, it is a really powerful link monster that just lets you get a bunch of draws, right? So it says you can target the monsters, insects from your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1. Really good for just recurring resources. You summon this in the deck, you link climb into Invincible Atlas, who becomes untargetable, indestructible, 3k beat stick, but also you contribute an insect to control and then activate an effect to either special summon a Beetrooper from your deck or gain 2000 attack. And this card does lose its protection if it goes above 3000, but otherwise still pretty damn dank, I'd say. It's pretty fun, and you also have things like Beetrooper Armor Horn. So let me go ahead and see if I can find it. So this over here, you cannot special summon monsters except insects, locks you into insects, otherwise it's a wonderful card. It has hard per turns on its effects. During your main phase, you can immediately after it resolves, summon an insect monster. This card over here, it's a link to, it reminds me of the Speedroid card. Wait, hold on, okay, it's here. Yeah, High Speedroid Rubber Band Shooter. It's basically that in the first effect, but Armor Horn's second effect, what was it? Yeah, Armor Horn's other effects, where if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish 3 others and special summon it to your field. Theoretically, perfect for link summon shenanigans, but again, you're locked into insects. Not the best. So while this deck has some pretty insane follow-up, it can only really set up things like the Counter Trap, which is a monster negate, as well as summon, I forgot what it was called. Things like, what was it? Which one? I think it was Sting the Poison. It can summon this during your opponent's turn, where it can quick effect tribute another insect monster to target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate it. So we can summon this, it can get the Counter Trap, and it can also get the Invincible Atlas, so that's a couple of interruptions plus a really big goddamn beat stick that has some amounts of protection. However, the turn after that, it can get kind of crazy. Since you're already stacking your graveyard with a lot of insects and recycling a bunch of cards, you can then summon Armorhorn yet again, whatever, and then make things like Apollosa, Access Code, really easy OTKs, but it really sucks because it can't be done in one turn. You have to set it up, and you have to depend on it staying on the field. And decks are just pretty powerful, so this deck is a bit of a stinker. It used to be considered a meta deck, like around tier 3 when it came out, but otherwise it's kind of honestly. So that's pretty much Beetroopers I went on.